The king's three daughters. Once upon a time, in the village of Adansi, there lived a King Nanakwame, renowned for his wisdom and fairness. However, when it came to his three daughters, Princesses Afia, Baaba, and Ama, he was fiercely protective. He declared that only the suitor who could complete seemingly impossible tasks would earn the right to marry one of his daughters. Each princess, however, was not a damsel in distress. They were intelligent, resourceful, and strong, ready to challenge the traditional roles society had laid out for them. As dawn broke over Adansi, casting a golden glow on the castle's highest towers, the great hall buzzed with anticipation as nobles and townsfolk gathered to hear the king's declaration. "Good people of our land," the king began, his voice echoing off the stone walls, "the time has come for my daughters to find suitable husbands, but not just any man can join our family. He must prove himself worthy through a series of tasks that test his wit, bravery, and heart." Whispers filled the room. The tasks were known to be impossible by those who had tried and failed in the past. The king turned to his daughters, each standing tall and proud. "But let it be known, my daughters are not prizes to be won. They are partners to stand beside." The first task required the suitors to retrieve the golden apple from the Forest of Shadows, a place rumored to have unspeakable terrors. Many tried, but none returned until a young farmer named Kojo stepped forward. He was not of noble birth, nor did he possess a warrior's physique, but his determination was unmatched. Kojo comes from a family of farmers living on the outskirts of the kingdom. Despite his humble beginnings, he was always curious about the world beyond the fields. His father, once a soldier, filled his imagination with tales of courage and honor, instilling in him a deep-seated belief in the power of determination and the value of hard work. Kojo's dream is not driven by a desire for wealth or status, but by a wish to prove that bravery and kindness are not reserved for the nobility. His journey to win Ifia's heart is as much about challenging societal expectations as it is about personal growth and the pursuit of love. Princess Afia, the eldest and a scholar of ancient lore, secretly followed Kojo, intrigued by his courage. Afia's fascination with ancient lore and her scholarly pursuits are driven by a childhood spent listening to the kingdom's elders tell tales of magic, adventure, and wisdom. These stories ignited a spark in her to understand the world beyond the castle walls, a world she's often felt confined from exploring due to her duties as a princess. Her dream is to marry and use her knowledge to lead and inspire change in the kingdom, making it a place where knowledge and wisdom are valued as much as strength and wealth. As Kojo navigated the treacherous forest, Afia used her knowledge to guide him past the obstacles and creatures lurking within. Together, they retrieved the golden apple, proving that intelligence and teamwork were more powerful than brute strength alone. The king, having heard of Afia and Kojo's success in the Forest of Shadows, retreats to his study. Surrounded by the portraits of his ancestors, he contemplates the courage and intellect Afia displayed, which contradicts his belief that strength alone defines a ruler. This moment of introspection is the first crack in his traditional worldview. The second task was to solve the riddle of the Sphinx, a creature that guarded the entrance to the kingdom's greatest treasure. Many suitors attempted to answer the riddle, only to be turned away in defeat. Princess Baaba, known for her wit and love for puzzles, decided to take matters into her own hands. Baaba's sharp intellect and curiosity often isolated her from peers, leading her to find solace and companionship in books and puzzles. Her love for puzzles stems from a desire to understand the world and her place within it. challenging the status quo that princesses should not concern themselves with such matters. Her dream is to prove that intellect can be as powerful as brute force, aspiring to open a school for all children in the kingdom to learn and grow regardless of their status. She approached the Sphinx and, using her cleverness, engaged it in a battle of wits. For days, they exchanged riddles until Baaba delivered a question so perplexing that even the Sphinx could not answer. Impressed by her intellect, the Sphinx allowed her to claim the treasure, demonstrating that mental agility could overcome any challenge. The evening after Baaba's victory over the Sphinx, the king stands before a large window, gazing out into the night, deep in thought. An old advisor, a wise and seasoned counselor who has served the king since his youth, enters the room quietly. Your Majesty, the kingdom rejoices at Princess Baaba's triumph today. Turning towards the advisor with mixed expression, the king said, yes, her victory was unexpected. The Sphinx's riddles have turned away many a brave soul. Advisor, nodding. Indeed, sir, but it was not bravery that won the day. It was wisdom and intellect, qualities that Princess Baaba possesses in abundance. King, I cannot deny her intellect, but what use is wisdom in a world that demands strength and courage? Advisor, with respect, sir, the world is changing. The strength of a kingdom lies not just in the might of its swords, but in the wisdom of its leaders. Your daughter has shown that intellect can conquer challenges where brute strength cannot. The king looks thoughtful, yet unconvinced. And what of the tasks? They were designed to test their suitors, not to showcase the strengths of my daughters. Advisor, carefully choosing his words. Perhaps, sir, it is time to reconsider what we value in those who will lead beside them. If the princesses themselves embody virtues beyond traditional strength, should we not seek partners who complement these virtues? King, pausing, a look of contemplation. You suggest that intellect and wisdom are strengths equal to bravery and prowess in battle? Advisor, I do, Your Majesty. A kingdom that values diverse strengths thrives. Princess Baaba's victory is a testament to that. King, turning back to the window, pondering. For so long I have clung to the old ways. He trails off, then, after a moment, speaks more decisively. Perhaps it is time for a change. Advisor, bowing slightly. It is my honor to serve, Your Majesty. Together we shall see the kingdom into a new era. After the suitors have proven their bravery and wit, the king announces a challenge unlike any before. The Labyrinth of Echoes. The Labyrinth of Echoes is not a physical maze but a magical one, located deep within the heart of the kingdom's oldest forest. It is said that this labyrinth is alive, created by ancient magic to test the hearts and minds of those who dare to enter. The challenge is to navigate through the labyrinth, but the twist is that the maze constantly shifts and changes based on the emotional state and intentions of those within it. The true path can only be found through emotional intelligence, empathy, and leadership. He explains that this task will test their ability to understand and manage their emotions and those of others. As suitors attempt and fail, unable to maintain composure or to lead with empathy, Princess Afia takes interest in this peculiar challenge. She believes that understanding and compassion are strengths equal to bravery and intellect. Afia, alongside a suitor, Kojo, who has shown kindness and emotional depth, decides to enter the labyrinth. As they navigate the shifting paths, they encounter illusions that provoke fear, anger, and sadness, designed to disorient and trap them. The key moment comes when they reach a clearing where echoes of their deepest doubts and fears confront them. Afia and Kojo support each other, sharing their vulnerabilities and using empathy to overcome the emotional turmoil. Their emotional intelligence and leadership guide not just themselves, but also lost competitors they find along the way, teaching them the importance of compassion and teamwork. Through this journey, Afia demonstrates that leadership is not about wielding power over others, but about guiding and supporting them. Her success in the Labyrinth of Echoes earns her and her companion the admiration of all, proving that emotional intelligence and the ability to lead with empathy are invaluable strengths. The final task was to win the Tournament of Champions, a grueling competition that tested physical strength and combat skills. Princess Ama, the youngest but a master in the art of swordsmanship, disguised herself as a knight to participate. Ama's passion for swordsmanship began when she witnessed a group of knights training. Despite being told it was unseemly for a princess, she was undeterred, seeking instruction in secret. Her motivation is rooted in a desire to stand on equal footing with those who protect the kingdom, challenging the notion that strength and valor are masculine traits. Ama dreams of a kingdom where people are free to pursue their passions without being bound by traditional roles, aspiring to become a symbol of courage and equality. As the tournament progressed, Ama bested each opponent with grace and skill, her identity hidden beneath the armor. In the final match, she faced a knight whose strength seemed unmatched. Yet, through her agility and strategic thinking, Ama emerged victorious. When she revealed her true identity, the kingdom was in awe, recognizing that true strength lies in courage and perseverance. The crowd's uproar of excitement fills the air, but high above, in the solitude of the castle's balcony, the king stands alone, his gaze fixed on the figure below, Princess Ama, his youngest daughter, who has just revealed herself as the champion of the Tournament of Champions. Looking out over the balcony, a mixture of shock and pride in his eyes, all these years, his voice trails off as he watches Ama, her armor reflecting the golden light of the setting sun. The king said softly to himself, "My little Ama, the master of swordsmanship." A small, incredulous chuckle escapes him, quickly fading into a contemplative silence. Turning away from the balcony, pacing slowly, the king said, "I built these tasks to protect them, to find them worthy suitors, but instead..." He pauses, looking at a portrait of the queen, his late wife. "They have shown me a strength I refuse to see." His gaze softens, a realization dawning. Stopping, his back to the portrait, he speaks as if to the queen, "You always said, our daughters are more than the jewels of the kingdom. They are its heart and its future. I see now what I have been blind to." Ama with her courage, Baaba with her intellect, Afia with her wisdom. A pause as he grapples with his emotions. Turning back to the balcony, watching as Ama is lifted onto the shoulders of the people, a hero in their eyes, I sought to protect them from the world, but perhaps it was I who needed protection from my own outdated beliefs. He leans on the balcony, a sense of awe in his voice, murmuring, "They do not need a king to shield them from the world. They need a father who supports their journey through it." He watches as Ama waves to the crowd, her smile radiant and full of promise. A determined look replaces the king's initial shock and confusion. It is time for a change. He glances back at the queen's portrait once more, as if seeking approval. "No longer will I seek suitors to protect them. Instead, I will support their ambitions, their dreams, and their right to choose their own paths." A nod to himself, a decision made. Looking down at the cheering crowd, a proud smile finally breaking through. "My daughters, the true champions of this kingdom. He takes one last look at the festivities below, then turns to make his way down, ready to embrace this new chapter alongside his daughters. In the days following the completion of the tasks, the kingdom buzzes with discussions about the princesses' futures. While preparations are underway for celebrations, Baaba requests a private audience with her father in the royal garden, a place where they often shared philosophical discussions. Baaba, approaching the king, who is admiring a new bloom. Father, I have been giving much thought to my future. King, turning to her, smiling, yes, my child, the kingdom eagerly awaits your decision. Many noble suitors have proven themselves worthy. Baaba, taking a deep breath, it is not a suitor's proposal I wish to accept, but a different kind of commitment. I wish to dedicate my life to the pursuit of knowledge, to travel beyond our borders, learn from other cultures, and bring back wisdom that can enrich our kingdom. King, surprised but listening intently. But Baaba, you would forsake marriage, a family, for books and learning? Baaba, nodding confidently. Yes, Father, I believe my purpose lies not in traditional roles, but in contributing to our kingdom's legacy through intellect and enlightenment. My heart yearns not for a home bound by walls, but for a world rich with ideas and learning. King, reflecting on her words. And what of the people? They expect their princesses to marry, to strengthen ties with noble houses. Baaba, passionately, I aim to strengthen our kingdom differently by forging ties with the power of knowledge and understanding. Let us show the world that we value wisdom as much as alliances formed through marriage. Following their conversation, the king addresses the kingdom, announcing Baaba's decision. Initially, there's a murmur of surprise among the crowd, with some expressing disappointment, while others are intrigued and inspired by her unconventional choice. King, addressing the kingdom, today we stand on the brink of a new era. Princess Baaba, in her wisdom, has chosen a path less trodden. She seeks not a crown beside a king, but the crown of knowledge to better our realm and beyond. Baaba embarks on her journey, visiting distant lands, studying with scholars, and bringing back innovations and ideas that transform the kingdom. Her adventures become tales told with admiration, inspiring a new generation of thinkers, leaders, and dreamers. Years later, Baaba returns to a kingdom that has flourished under the influence of her discoveries. Libraries, schools, and institutions of learning bear her name, and she is revered not just as a princess, but as a pioneer of progress. Kojo, with his bravery and humility, won Efia's heart. They married and had children. Amma, having proven her valor, became the kingdom's most revered knight. The king declared that henceforth anyone seeking to marry into the royal family must not only respect the princess's abilities, but also support their ambitions and dreams. As the story of the king's 3 daughters spread throughout the lands, it inspired people far and wide to challenge traditional roles and to value intelligence, resourcefulness, and strength in all their forms. And so, the kingdom entered a new era of prosperity and equality, where every individual, regardless of gender, was encouraged to pursue their true potential. Dear listeners, the tale of the King's 3 daughters teaches us the importance of challenging societal norms and recognizing the diverse strengths and abilities that each person brings to the table. It reminds us that true partnerships are built on mutual respect, support, and the freedom to be oneself. Through love, loss, struggle, and triumph, the princesses and their suitors demonstrated that the most impossible tasks could be overcome with ingenuity, teamwork, and the courage to defy expectations. The end. Thanks for listening.